Modernization in most of Asia countries started from 19th to early 20th century with the form of colonization by most of developed and industrial Europe countries. Different countries have different degrees of modernization involvement, such as international settlement by Westerns in Shanghai, which designated as the important port to trade in China, has introduced industrialization and mass production as well as massive modern lifestyle, which made Shanghai the first metropolitan city in China. The India report released in 1958 has explained the government of India invited American designers to explore the training program in industrial design in order to assist every aspect of industries to produce quality goods and services. The pathway of the modernism in Asia is different from Europe, such as assimilation into local context, transformation from tradition to modern, and the relocation of traditional styles formed a new modernity way in Asia. Japan is an Asian country heavily colonized by Western powers, but modernized with the success of Meiji Revolution from the 19th century that is earlier than any other Asian countries, which led to be a destination for a lot of Chinese students to learn about modernity in the earlier 20th century. The Chinese designer Chen Zhifu, who contributed modernity in the development of graphic design, and the Chinese painting is one of them. The influence on the modernization by Europe to Asia countries is not only in the past, but also has been passed down to our current generation, such as contemporary designer Oki Sato from Japan has not only approached the modernism principles of less is more and formful functions, but also thought the feelings like having fun which beyond functions. The most influenced Chinese graphic designer in the 20th century, Chen Zhifu, was born in Yuyao, Zhejiang Province in 1986. He graduated from the textile school in Hangzhou in 1916 and stayed in the school as an educator to teach the patterns. In 1918, he entered the Tokyo School of Fine Art to start his first study on graphic design, and it became the start point to absorb the knowledge of the modernity. At that time, he was the first Chinese student to learn the pattern design in Japan. After he finished his studies, he returned to Shanghai and established the pattern design studio, which named Shangmei, to start his design work included texture patterns, packaging, poster, and advertising. The textile patterns designed by Chen Zhifu between 1925 to 1927 are the examples of using the most simple and effective language, which reveal the formal beauty of the patterns. The idea came from the nature and was transformed into the simple abstract form to fulfill the practical needs of the modern life. It benefited people at that time instead of importing texture. The book of design of the literature journal by Chen Zhifu in 1933, named Wenxue, depicted the industrial progress in the modern life with the train, factory, and electricity, which evoked the spirit of the times. The design with the pure and simple form also reflects the modernism concept. The white horse up on the train indicates the transformation on transportation from tradition to modern. The Book of Design of Modern Students by Chen Zhifu in 1931 is an example to illustrate the modern life of the students in China. The geometrical form and the simple colors give the definition of the modernism. The modern lifestyle was interpreted with students playing badminton in front of high-rise buildings. Due to the influence of the thought in the new cultural movement at that time, book design in earlier Chinese journals is an important art media. He was one of the pioneers to be the professional designers to divide the design work from mass production process. In 1920s, Tuan is quite a new Chinese word which distinguished design from painting. He published the Tuanfa ABC, the ABC design method, which is considered China's first graphic design textbook. Chen Zhifu had inspired the concept of assimilation into local context from a teacher in Japan, such as combination painting techniques from Western, such as water brush, oil painting, sketching, and so on, to Eastern in Japanese painting as the new modern form named Nihonga. The painting Warm Water of Spring River in 1960s by Chen Zhifu is a good example to combine Japanese pattern design with the Chinese painting, which has interpreted the transformation from tradition to modern. The abstractive pattern design has improved the decoration on the paintings, especially in its details of flower and duck, Wang Xinghua is a curator and director of exhibition in Nanjing Museum, says his paintings are the outcome of a beautiful marriage between Gongbi techniques and Japanese pattern design, which he learned while studying in Japan. The designed work on journal covered by Chen Zhifu, the Eastern Mycenaean in 1927, used geometric and symmetric form to interpret cloud in a poetic and natural feeling visually. The modern idea with assimilation into local context has indicated in the design of the cloud, which has perpetuous meaning in China. The propaganda of the art aesthetic, education, and the promotion of the enlightenment are also expressed on journal. The modern concept is still influenced designer in Asia. Oki Sato, a Japanese contemporary designer, was born in Tokyo, Canada in 1937. Educated in Waseda University, Tokyo, Master of Art in Architecture 2002. He established his studio Nando in Tokyo and Milan. He said less is better and less is more that defined more functions and fun in a design objective. With the modern way of design process, he used the 3D technology to prototype his design idea that made design perfect and multitasking different projects. The most recent furniture design, the clip by Oki Sato in 2020, is made of steel and fabric. The simplicity design of a pure-colored chair has well acknowledged that less is more. The idea of a removable cushion on the back came from a paper clip that makes chair more flexible and functional. The design also well interprets the modernism concept of form full of functions. Another design work is the package design of the beer Kinkura by Oki Sato in 2016. Used the Chinese typeface of gold, white, and black to incorporate with another character of the brewer. The geometric forms with a simple pattern design imply the modern idea. The design also highlights the cultural identity with the character, which is a good example of transformation from tradition to modern. Oki Sato is giving more intuitive understanding of his design works in terms of simplicity. There is a similarity approach between Chen Zhifu and Oki Sato, as they had a modeling process before a proper design, and think the story behind the design which could be meaningful. Such as Oki Sato will sketch his core idea from his brainstorm design process, thinking more deeply in terms of functions, and Chen Zhifu will design a thumbnail before he starts his painting. The colonialism has positively influenced the modernism in Asia in the early 20th century. However, whether it's a good solution to be modern is still a controversial topic. The political and social upheaval in the 20th century led Chinese artists such as Chen Zhifu to study in Japan, absorbed modern concepts from Western and developed in China. Modernization in Asia is different with Western countries, that some Asian countries partially preserved its cultural identity combined with the Western modern. The modern concept has a strong impact to Asian countries in the 20th century with the trend of mass production and industrialization, and still influence designers in Asia with more inspired and advanced ideas in the use of more creative technologies.